Good morning, good morning, good morning. YouTube world, hello YouTube world. I am thrilled to be here. This is my very first YouTube live on A Girl's Guide to Cars. We have done live streams on Facebook and we have done live streams on Twitter and Instagram, but never on YouTube. And you know what? I've been really getting into my YouTube world lately, posting a lot of videos. You guys have been very kind with some great comments and with lots of great response and catching up on our videos. And so I'm really excited to be here live in the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So my opening comment, can an SUV be a performance car? And so that's the big debate. And when you talk to people who are enthusiastic about performance cars, they lament the addition of SUVs, and they're all going, oh, the next thing you know, Bugatti is going to have an SUV, and da 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 da. Pagani is going to have an SUV. Well, you know what? Because we love SUVs. Everybody loves SUVs. Men love them because they're like them. It's like that's the image they see of themselves. Women like them because they make us feel stronger and more confident and more capable. We're higher off the ground. We have a better view of the world. It's easier to see the things around us that we need to see. We can get our stuff in the back. We have the flexibility of seats that fold down. So there are a lot of reasons to love an SUV. So I get it. I get it. So we are in the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and this is the best of both of those worlds. It is a performance car and it is an SUV. I just spent the week driving this car. It goes back to Alfa Romeo tomorrow. I'm very sad about that because I love this car. When they offered me the chance to test drive the Stelvio, I thought, you know what? I should totally take it because I love this car. I love this car. Now, the one that they gave us, and I'm gonna pull out the window sticker. Here you go. The old window sticker. The one that they gave us is this green color, and I want to see what it's called. Verde Visconti. Verde Visconti green, metallic with the exterior paint, but it has a crema interior, So I do like the interior quite a lot. It has a very rich and very tight feel. Some interior upholsteries are a little softer and cushier, and some are very tightly bound together, so it almost has like a bouncy feel to it, and that's what this is. This is a really tight, beautiful, very lush feeling interior. In fact, I'm going to turn the camera so you can see this. I want you to see this. They actually have the Alfa Romeo logo embossed here on the headrests. And so it's you can see it's here too. It just gives the car a really classic, gorgeous feel. I'm going to open this. Since you're looking at it, I want you to see this beautiful panoramic sunroof, since it's in my shot, and this gorgeous Texas sky. I'll move it all the way. This beautiful Texas sky. It is a gorgeous day. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of a better exposure there. Maybe you can see the beautiful blue sky that we have today here in Texas. It really is lovely. We've turned a corner on summer. It's a little cooler. It's not as overwhelmingly hot and muggy as it has been, although it's not nearly as muggy as the East Coast. But Texas has been beautiful. In a minute, I will show you where I am. It is really hot though, so I'm gonna close that back up. But I wanted to show you the window sticker. So this is called a Monroney. It was named after the Senator Monroney of Wisconsin, who passed the rule saying that consumers have a right to know everything that's in their car, what they call content. Oh, do you hear my dog? Do you hear my dog? Would you like to see my dog? I'm going to show you my dog. There's my dog, Eli. He's hanging out and he's whining because I'm not paying attention to him. I'm talking to you. But I am going to talk to you about the window sticker, and then Eli and I will show you around the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So this is a four-cylinder, yes, it is 4 cylinders, 280 horsepower. So that's a lot of power for a 4-cylinder engine. Alfa Romeo does a really great job with front loading the power in the Stelvio, and that has to do with the turbocharging. Pardon me. Hush, hush. Would you like to see Eli again? I'll show you Eli. That's who I'm talking to. Be quiet, doggy. We're gonna hop out in a minute. You just chill back there, okay? He's looking at me like, what are you doing? You just chill back there. We'll be hopping out of the car in a minute. So yeah, so it's a 4-cylinder turbo engine that has 280 horsepower. This car comes with everything in the car that I'm about to show you as a standard price of $44,000. So base trim, $44,000. The price as outfitted here, $56,000. So it's a little bit of a bump up, but there's some really nice features, including the Lusso all-wheel drive package. So to add all-wheel drive and to add the roof rails and these leather seats that I'm so gaga about, $2,500. And then to add, let's see, driver assist dynamic plus package, which is the adaptive cruise and all the driver assist features, that adds $1,500. To add the dual pane sunroof, which I really love, adds $1,350. Then there's a bunch of other things like heated rear seats. Man, I don't know if I really need that in Texas, but if you have crabby passengers or if you're driving in Uber, a heated rear seat might be a nice thing. They upgraded the infotainment system, which I'll show you in a minute. And then they added the big wheels and the premium sound, Harman Kardon premium sound. So all of that comes, and plus the $12.95 destination charge, which they always want to charge you and it's hard to get away from, comes to $56,990. So really just a hair under $57,000. It is a luxury car. So I am going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what we're looking at here in the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So when you first hop in, this is the view that you see. Now for this luxury car, there's some things that are not in here. There's no head-up display, for instance. But they've done, and there are no paddle shifters. Those are the two things I would say I'm kind of missing in this car. If you buy the Quadrifoglio, which is the 6-cylinder, much larger, I think it adds about 200 more horsepower. You would definitely have paddle shifters here, and I believe you would get a head-up display. You certainly would want a head-up display, but here we don't have that. I'm not sure that you really need it in this car, especially with the 280 horsepower engine. But this is what you're looking at. So your start button is here, which is really unusual. And then, of course, the Alfa Romeo logo, the snake eating a baby. Yep, there's the snake and it's eating a baby, dominates the center of the steering wheel. So we have our gauges here, and we have some things here on the steering wheel as well. So I'll show you. This is, let me see if I can get better light. So this is the adaptive cruise, and that was a $1,500 option, and it's a great one. I definitely would go with that. And it also is part of some of the other driver assist features. Never skimp on driver assist features. That is the best thing that you can buy in the car, period, end of story. So that is right here. Once you press that button, and you can see it, shows up right there. And then, so you can see, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So you can see, here is the adaptive cruise, and then that is the follow adjust. So you can, the distance, I'm not sure exactly, they call it a gap adjust, but it's the following distance adjustment. So I can set it so I'm following closer or have more distance between the car ahead of me and me. So that's something that it allows you to just kind of set it and forget it when it comes to when it comes to cruise control. And I love it, especially in traffic, and it's been fantastic. It works really, really well. Another thing that they have on here, because this is all-wheel drive, is downhill descent assist, which is right here. So if you're going down a hill, maybe it's kind of slippery or gravelly, icy, you can press this and the car will do all the work. That, my friend, is your Jeep DNA at work in this car. They are sister companies. They don't cross over a lot, but that's something that Jeep developed that I'm sure they're happy to hand across the aisle to their friends at Alfa Romeo. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about the interior of this car. So one thing I really love is this. It's a flat panel display. They actually integrated this all the way right into the whole dashboard. So the panel display only goes to here, but it's so beautiful. It really is, pardon my bottle of water up there. It's just so gorgeous. And when the car is off or the screen is off, you don't see it, and then you can turn it off as well if you don't want to look at it. But this is where your map displays, and I will show you. So here's all of our options. There's navigation, and I think I have some options on that as well. I think I can also make it twice as big. There we go. I can split the screen, and then there's my navigation. I can turn off the screen. Did you see that? I can turn off the screen completely. There it is with no screen. How elegant is this car with no screen? So, but then I can do some other things too. And how am I doing that magic? It's with this sucker right here. So this I can just twist and I can also push it forward and back. It acts as a toggle as well as a dial. And I believe it has a sensitive surface, so I can actually, let's see if I can dial my radio stations. I don't think I can do that. I think I can only toggle through this way. So over here, you might have noticed this other button. Boom, this one. So this is the DNA. And so each one of these settings, so D is for dynamic, N is for natural, and A is for, I forget what A stands for, but it is essentially your eco setting. And adaptive is what that is. And so what adaptive does is it adapts the car to the current driving conditions so that you get your most efficient drive experience. There is no reason really to ever drive this car in anything other but dynamic. That is the setting that I certainly have enjoyed the most. I'll show you this too. I'll show you this. Can you see that green line when I change it to natural? And then when I change it to dynamic. So it stays on that mode that it was on when you last left the car. So if you left it in dynamic, it stays in dynamic. If you left it in adaptive, it stays in adaptive. And you can tell which mode you're on, not only by looking at the dial, but also by looking at that red line right there. So another couple things I'll show you over here, and then I'll hop into the back seat with my dog Eli. He's chilling. I'll show you. He's right there. He's chilling. And I'll show you some of the things in the back seat. So first of all, here's the climate control. This is the radio dial, so I can turn it up or not. It's great to have this as a dial, and I can also just push it to turn off the radio. And that is because you don't really want those settings behind a touch screen if you need them really quickly. There is a USB port here. There is a pop close, it's a retractable cover for these cup holders. There's a USB there. There's two USBs right here in the center console. And then and there's our electric parking brake. And then there's two more USBs in the back. So there's actually 5 in this model. I believe those rear USBs probably come with the rear seat heater. And so that gives your backseat passengers a few more advantages if they're sitting back there. So what do you say, guys? Should we hop into the back seat and check out the back seat, or would you like to walk around and see the exterior of the car? Why don't we walk around and see the exterior of the car? I'm gonna take my key with me, and I can even show you in the, I could show you the rear cargo area as well, and show you what this car looks like on the outside. And then we'll hop in the back seat. So I want to show you where we are. We are here in Austin, Texas. That is the very famous Pennybacker Bridge. It actually is a novel bridge because it was one of the first of its kind to be built. There's no part of the bridge that touches the water, I recently learned. So pretty amazing. This is the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So the first time I drove the Stelvio, it did not have these wheels. It had different wheels. And this one has these beautiful floral wheels. They just are gorgeous. I love the look of those wheels. I also love the look of this face. So now, very contrary to other automotive design, most automotive design has a grille that's sort of horizontal, and this has this very vertical V with the Alfa Romeo logo there in the middle, and then these almost animated eyes for headlights. And here's another look at the side profile of the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. So I learned something. Stelvio is actually the name of a pass in the Italian Alps where this car was tested for its drivability. And I can see why it passed. This is a beautifully driving car. It is probably the most perfectly balanced car I've ever driven. You do not feel like you're driving an SUV. You feel like you're driving a sports car. The height and the size of the car actually gives you a little more confidence and capability because there's more weight behind the car, but or underneath the car, I should say. Hello, Eli. How's my doggy? Hello, doggy. He is chilling back here. I think he likes this car. He's finally calmed down. I think it's comfortable enough for him. So here are my knees sitting in the back seat. I got plenty of room back here. I will tell you, it is not cramped. Here's our seat heaters, our 2 USB ports, and then rear seat passengers have air. They don't really have much more climate control than that, but you do get some air. And then there is a view of the front seat. Isn't it pretty? I feel like the elegance of this car is something that is just hard to beat, and it's not really what I expected from an Italian luxury brand. I expected an Italian luxury brand before they came out with this car. I expected it to be over the top with lots of frills and I don't know, fancy things. And the fancy thing in this car is its minimalism. It is a minimalist dream. Everything that you need is here. There's not a lot of overwhelming details. That it's not a touch screen. The infotainment screen just blends right into, I'll show you, just blends right into the dash there. Sorry, the infotainment screen just blends right in, and then when you don't want it on, you can easily turn it off, and it just goes away, and it just becomes another beautiful surface, a beautiful space here in the Alfa Romeo Giulia, in the Stelvio, sorry. So I promised to show you the rear cargo area. I will do that in just a second. But I wanted you to say hello again to my little friend. Hello, my little friend. He's just chilling here with me in the back seat. So I want you to notice something about him, and that is that he's laying flat. So, you know, a lot of dogs, they like to get up here on the door frame and put their nose out the window. And that's actually not a safe thing at all. They can be hit by an object. If there's something that, you know, if another driver, say something falls off a truck and it bounces down the highway, or a driver throws something out the window, or there's just stuff flying around on the highway, that can actually hurt your little guy. So you never want his head hanging out the window. I know he loves it, but it's not safe for while you're driving. Dogs should always be restrained in the car, so they should always be restrained like this. And that's for his safety. And actually, the company that made the harness that he's wearing is a company called SleepyPod. And SleepyPod just completed some new research that shows that the way he's laying, which is sideways and strapped in here with the self-tensioning seatbelt, so if the car starts to, if there's an indication that the car is suddenly slowing, the seatbelt freezes in place, and he cannot move it won't let him fly forward and it won't let him move around. So I will say it takes some time for him to get used to this, but it is the safest way for my little guy to travel, is laying on his side. I like this because he can see out the window. He can see the front of the window. So I like to have his head right here in the middle. But sometimes he lays that way. But if you want your dog to be safe in the car, have him restrained and have him lay down, or her. Being in a restraint and being in a laying position is the best place for them to be. Some people like to put their dogs in a soft crate where they're up off the seat a little bit and they have a little bit of visibility. That's fine too. You want them to be able to lay down because this is their natural reclining position. And if he's laying along sideways like this, that actually is the safest way for our dog to travel. So I'm going to walk out. I'm going to show you the Alfa Romeo out the exterior one more time, and I'll show you the cargo area. And thanks for joining me, you guys. I really love having you here today on my very first live YouTube broadcast. So let's see. So there are different ways of opening the back. One is this. There's just a little button. So one thing that they did is they put these rails in here with these clips, and you can move them around. So you can see you can move these around if you want to put some bars in here to keep things from moving around. But it's a really nice cargo space. It comes with a cargo cover. And then here are seat recline buttons. So I can pull these latches and the seats will fold down. I'm not going to do that because my dog's back there and I don't want to bump him on the head. Another feature that I like is this privacy screen. So Alfa Romeo added this privacy screen so that whatever's in the back, it sort of provides the other half of this. So you truly can keep prying eyes out of the back of the car, and it's great if you've got stuff stored back here, especially if you leave things in the car. And there is a temporary spare tire under here, so you can see how thin that is. That is not for daily driving, but if you have a flat tire and with all-wheel drive, they're assuming that you might be someplace where you might, gravel or someplace where you might have tire damage, that having a spare tire is a good idea. So thanks for joining me, you guys. I appreciate you being here with me today, checking out the 2019 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Beautiful car, one of my favorite cars of all time. I love the understated elegance of this car. It drives like a dream. It really is a beautiful drive experience, 280 horsepower, and you are in complete control. It really gives you a great feel. You don't feel like you're driving an SUV. It doesn't feel like a big car, but it has all the passenger capacity and cargo capacity that you need, and plenty of room for your fur babies. All right, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day.